The long oak table extended like a runway and had a certain warmth that only pricey lighting could replicate. Miles Carrington, was parked at the far end, right where the finely manicured carpet ran down the middle of Delilah's huge dining room. I wore the dark navy suit I purchased years ago for Elias's memorial. It was fitted, knotted in all the wrong places, like misplaced luggage that somehow still made the trip. The room was alive with the sound of glasses clinking, gentle conversation, and the coordination of well-disguised intentions. Thanksgiving at Delilah's had never been about appreciation. It was always about the aesthetic, about the beauty of her estate, which honestly felt more like a museum than a home. I was polishing. The wood floors, the silverware, the lies, and the level of pretense we were all expected to maintain. I chose this tranquil place at the end of the table because not going would have caused more disruption than attending. Silas sat 3 chairs away from me. I even brought a bottle of wine, a vintage I knew would be disregarded the moment it touched the counter. Silas was too well shaped by his mother's sculpting hands. His stance was inflexible. His wife, Raya, showered him with attention as if she were being recorded, as if every moment was for public consumption. Across from her, he had his mother's drive, his wife's affection, and the kind of job title that made everyone else feel inadequate. Kieran and Luna sat nearby, hands clasped beneath the table, stealing glances as though they still understood how emotion worked. But it was cold, distant. They stared through me, not at me, and Delilah. My ex-wife walked among them like a monarch in cream silk, floating effortlessly from guest to guest. Her dress draped naturally over her frame, her steps timed, her smile calibrated. She replenished glasses with the precision of a blade, offering flattering remarks to everyone else, while to me, she played the role of kind matriarch. I sipped water. The woman who once sold love to me as a contract had violated that agreement. A long time ago, the plates filled with expensive turkey and herb stuffing dropped onto gold-rimmed china. No one dared ask me to pass a dish. The seat next to mine remained empty. It always went to Elias's place, always. Then Delilah approached Silas, too close, too familiar. "Move it," she said. Her heels clicked louder than her voice. I didn't hear what she whispered, but I saw his body tense, his grip on the silverware loosen, his eyes darkened, glassiness creeping in, a mix of confusion and duty. He rose. Suddenly, conversations halted mid-sentence. Chairs scraped like screams. Silas walked toward me. Slowly. I stood, not understanding why. His hands clenched at his sides. Maybe it was instinct, maybe defense, maybe some part of me still believed my son wouldn't harm me. 1 breath, 2, and then, crack. His palm met my cheek with the sound of betrayal. It echoed, across marble, through silverware, and into the heart of everyone who dared pretend this was still a family. My body jerked sideways, hitting the edge of the table. I staggered, but not from force, from disbelief. I tasted blood. But it was deeper than my mouth. Raya clutched her napkin like she had seen a ghost. Someone whispered, "What the hell?" Delilah stood still. Her face caught between fear and something dangerously close to satisfaction. I slowly stood upright. She hadn't anticipated the aftermath would look like this. Their gazes cut through me. My family, my past, all waiting for me to explode. But I didn't. Instead, I smiled. A slow, deliberate grin. "Thank you," I said, with a smile that never touched my eyes. The silence that followed was heavier than the slap. You'd think I had pulled a rifle from under my coat, not just endured. A blow. Silas stepped back. Delilah reached for him, but he didn't move. The wine bottle remained still, tense, unpoured, because they didn't understand. This wasn't capitulation, it was a shift. I realized then this family never owned the arena, I had simply been playing in it. And now, I was stepping out. I returned to my seat, rearranged my napkin, ignored the weight of Silas's stare. Delilah didn't approach either of us. Not because she didn't care, but because she had no idea what came next. And she should have been afraid, because the day before Thanksgiving smelled like old resolve and lemon oil. Later that evening, I stood polishing a silver carving set in the kitchen of my small apartment. It once belonged to my mother, passed to me the year Delilah and I got married. It lived in a velvet-lined box, only brought out for funerals, holidays, and performances like the one I was preparing for now. Wiped it clean beneath the low hum of classical music playing from old speakers. After 8 years of divorce, I'd grown used to a silence that spoke truth. Truth that didn't need to yell, and yet every year, I showed up. Not because I wanted to, but because my absence would scream louder than my presence, and Silas. He still called me Dad, even though some days it didn't feel like I deserved it. The phone buzzed. Silas, I answered. Hey, kid. Hey, Dad, he said. Just checking in about tomorrow. Dinner's still at Mom's. He hesitated. Just letting you know. Mom's going to your place in the morning. She says there's a document she needs you to look at before supper. I knew that tone. Delilah didn't bring casseroles. She brought contracts. I could hear her in his words, that ambition dressed up in civility. Thanks for the warning, I said quietly. I didn't tell him what I was already holding in my hands. The original deed to the lake house with her, name removed months ago. Because you don't bring a knife to a battle, unless you know which side of the table you're sitting on. And this time, I wasn't sitting at hers. It's interesting how much paper means to you now, that I recall when it was, because it was, the first smile I had given her all morning. You wanted me to sign only a marriage license. But now, it's land, and it will be legacy. Her mouth tightened. You make everything personal. She collected the folder, clearly irritated that I hadn't, because everything with you is so personal. Her composure faltered, whether when she signed the blasted document with a shattered heart or when she flipped the table over in protest, I'll never know. She couldn't provoke me. So this visit served as a test, to see if I could continue to move to the beat she set for me. And you, I continued as I walked her to the door, should accept the deal, she said one final time. It's the wise thing. Her eyes narrowed, but I didn't give her time to figure out that the deck had already been reshuffled. She learned not to bluff. Talking once more, I opened the door, moved aside, and watched her return to her silver SUV,